Hello friends, welcome back to Steno World. I am going to dictate legal matter of 638 words. So be ready for the dictation. 3, 2, 1, start. The doctrine of basic structure was propounded by the Indian judiciary on 24th April 1973 in Keshav Nanda Bharti case to put a limitation on the amending powers of the parliament so that the basic structure of the basic law of the land cannot be amended in exercise of its constituent power under the Constitution. What constitutes basic structure, although not explicitly defined, most of its constituents can be derived from various Supreme Court judgments over the years, like supremacy of the Constitution of India, rule of law, judicial review, federalism, secularism, fundamental rights, Article 32, balance between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy, etc. The basic structure of our Constitution is not static but dynamic and continuously evolving. Judicial activism is seen as a success in liberalizing access to justice and giving relief to disadvantaged groups because of the efforts of Justice P.N. Bhagwati. It is an effective tool for upholding the citizens' rights and implementing the constitutional principles when the executive and legislative fail to do so. The shift from locus standi to public interest litigation has made the Indian judicial process more participatory and democratic. Judicial activism, therefore, counters the opinion that the judiciary is a mere spectator. The higher courts of the country interpreted the Constitution in a manner as to give effective rights to the citizens which are important in day-to-day life. The framers of Constitution wished to empower citizens with certain rights which are levied as fundamental rights and they cannot be taken away by the government. In the years that followed, the judiciary, on its part, interpreted the Constitution and gave to us various rights like right to information, right to education, right to free legal aid, to include right to live with dignity in right to life. But we must also understand that judicial activism challenges the concept of separation of power of the three arms of the state. Many times, in the name of judicial activism, judiciary interferes in the administrative domain and ventures into judicial adventurism. This is when judicial restraint comes into picture. If judges are to freely decide and make laws of their choices, it would not only go against the principles of separation of powers, but it would also result in chaos and uncertainty in the laws. India is no stranger to discrimination on the basis of sex. At one point, Indian air hostesses were compulsorily retired at 35 years of age or on getting married or pregnant. The Supreme Court, in the case of Air India versus Nargis Mirza, AIR 1981 SC 1829, ruled that this represented official arbitrariness and hostile prejudice. Similarly, the criteria for promotion of women, where they are benchmarked with men, shall be same, otherwise it is indirectly discriminatory and against substantive equality. Another such example is the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of eligibility of women officers in short service commission in army for permanent commission. The persistence of the Supreme Court in this case persuaded the armed forces to change their mindset and support equal status for women officers. The courts in India have developed the law and held that Article 19 within bracket 1A of the Constitution of India, which states that all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, includes the right to creative expression. The philosophy behind this article lies in the preamble of the Constitution, where a solemn resolve is made to secure to all its citizens liberty of thought and expression. It is quoted from the landmark judgment by Justice Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud in the case of Creative Private Limited versus Government of West Bengal. The true purpose of art, as manifest in its myriad forms, is to question and provoke. Underlying the vision of the artist is a desire to find a new meaning for existence.